Are central air duct cleaning, dryer vent cleaning, and HVAC duct cleaning all talking about the same things?
In a sense, yes. Obviously, your dryer vent has nothing to do with your HVAC system, but it's also a service that can be included as a package when you want to have your air ducts cleaned, sanitized. It can be an additional cost, but it's included sometimes.
Is air duct cleaning or dryer vent cleaning more frequent than the other? So do you get calls for one or the other more often?
Well, people mostly want to have their ducts cleaned and at the same time do the dryer vent. Dryer vents should be done a little bit more frequently than your ducts altogether, since it can be a fire hazard, and obviously here with families with multiple kids and guests all the time, they can use their dryer a lot more frequently, and it can accumulate a lot of that a lot of that debris that could become a fire hazard. So when we have calls that come in, a lot of people wonder if we can do just a dryer vent service, or they want to toss it in and do it with the duct cleaning as well.
Okay. And do can homeowners do these cleanings themselves? Do they have can they put a broom in there and kind of sweep it out? Do they give it a try sometimes?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily advise to use a broom, but it's definitely encouraged for you to try and get at your floor registers, for example, and remove the grills and see if there's any debris in there that you can suck out with a shop vac. Like in your kitchen, for example, in mine personally, I have two vents that are in my kitchen, and they accumulate a lot of different crumbs and a lot of debris or toys, what have you. And so you can clean that out. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get to the more extensive part of your duct system. But with your dryer vent, also, it's important for you to keep your filter clean. And obviously, if you can get out to your dryer vent and disconnect it from time to time and try to vacuum it out, that is advisable as well. Yeah.
Okay, so if people open up their dryer vent or their kitchen vent or their filter and they kind of just see the surface level of that duct and it looks okay, or they just pick up a little amounts of crumbs or lint or whatever, is that a signal that the whole thing is okay? Or because I know that beyond what they see, there may be bigger issues. So how does someone identify, if they have a bigger issue than what's just on the surface level?
Sure. And it can differ between different applications and what ductwork is accessible to you as the homeowner to what you can see. Right. If you're just opening up your grills in your kitchen or in your bedrooms and you're seeing some debris in there, it's not really going to show you the full integrity of the duct system and its condition, but it can give you an idea of how are things looking beyond my eye, beyond what my eye can see. And if you return vents, for example, and you notice that there is a big amount of debris, dust, maybe even some biological growth, that can give you an idea that the parts that you're not seeing are going to end up having some debris and some biological growth that you might want to clean out.
Biological growth is what, mold?
It could be mold.
Like mold or moss?
Yeah, biological growth like fungi, like mold,
Okay.
that can accumulate throughout your duct system. Also, as you have your unit maintained by a professional, they're able to see the parts that you don't normally see as a homeowner when they open up your coil, when they open up your heat exchanger, and that all shows you the condition of your unit, and in turn also the condition of your duct system that's ultimately feeding that AC or that furnace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to do rework or correct problems that developed from homeowners kind of taking this on themselves? So they take some issue and they get in there and they fall through the duct or something like this.
Oh, sure. And even inadequately trained technicians, we see it all the time when homeowners unfortunately get the wrong company out and they can end up doing some damage to their duct system by utilizing wrong tools or not utilizing them correctly. Um, this can really come down to, detached vents, which at the end of the day will cost a lot of efficiency for your unit when you're leaking some air from a disconnected duct from inadequately trained technicians. But in turn, when homeowners try and get it done themselves, it's usually over at the direct entryway from your output of your vents on your registers. So we don't come across it that much when it's a homeowner trying to do it, but definitely when we have inadequately trained technicians out there.
Okay, so if a homeowner is looking for a dryer vent or an air duct cleaning, how do they find a specialist, and how do they know if if that person is adequately trained, like you mentioned?
Well, you definitely want to have somebody that's had some experience in the industry, right, and has worked in specifically air ducts and HVAC systems, whether they're residential or commercial. You can typically find a lot of leads like that online, and you can also, at the end of the day, find the reviews of a company and make sure they're reputable to adequately take care of your home.
Okay. How often should homeowners get duct cleaning?
3 to 5 years is a good rule of thumb in the industry.
Okay.
Obviously, that depends on the use of your home and the use of your HVAC or air conditioning system, right? Sometimes in different regions, we use both systems way less than in other regions. And obviously that changes the lifespan and the in between of how often you should get that air system cleaned and sanitized.
What would you consider a high use and a low use system?
Well, for example, in Florida, a lot of my industry experience has been in Florida, and over there you have your AC running year round, right? Maybe you can cut it off once or twice a day. Here, for example, I live maybe 1,000 feet higher than where we are right now, and so I rarely use my AC. I circulate my air, right? So if homeowners decide to have some upgraded filtration where they want to go ahead and circulate their air, whether they're using heat or cooling throughout the day, normally it's just the movement of air throughout your home and the condition of your ducts that'll tell you, like how often you should get it cleaned. Having a yearly maintenance on your unit and having a professional be able to see what's going on inside your unit and also in areas of your duct system is important for you to know. Hey, you're probably going to want to do this every 2 years. You have 3 dogs, you have 4 kids, you're probably going to want to do this a little more often, but 3 to 5 years is usually a good rule of thumb.
Okay. For the people who don't do regularly scheduled AC maintenance, HVAC maintenance, or have someone come in every 3 to 5 years to do their air duct cleaning, what are the signs that they would kind of identify? Like, oh, now I've lived here for 7 years. I've never had a duct cleaning. I've never even had an HVAC service. What are the signs that they start to see when they call you guys?
Sure. I mean, besides your seasonal allergies that you can start accumulating through dirty ductwork, right? You start noticing some inefficiencies in your unit as well. If you're having to frequently change your filters, right, and the filter gives you a span of 2 months and it can be replaced, but you're catching yourself replacing it really 3 weeks or 4 weeks after you put a brand new one in, that's signs of really maybe wanting to get your duct system checked out. And yeah.
Okay. So if a duct company is coming out for a cleaning, will they automatically do sanitizing and mold removal, or is that a more enhanced service?
Yeah, that's usually another upgrade to a duct cleaning, because you can have your basic debris removal that works with negative pressure machines that will actually scrub out your ductwork. But the sanitation is an upgraded feature that we can include in our packages. Yeah.
Okay. So what are the signs that a homeowner will need an air duct repair? You mentioned earlier that there's inefficiency, that you're losing a lot of air. What are some other signs that, a homeowner that's not so in tuned with mechanical parts might identify that would signal that they need a repair?
Well, they'll start noticing some temperature differences in their home, right? It's very, very common to have warmer rooms upstairs and colder rooms downstairs, right? And the way that the air is being distributed is really at fault for that, right? And so that means that you have to have proper return sizes in your ducts coming back to your AC or furnace. Same thing with your supplies being the correct size and that your air is being distributed the right way. That's when you can get into some zoning. That's also when you can get into some duct leakage tests to make sure that you're not losing 20, 30, 40% of your airflow throughout your home and inside your walls to wherever your ductwork is traveling through. And for that, we have specific tests that we can come out when we're seeing that, okay, so we're having proper sizes here, we're having proper returns here. Why don't we go ahead and check to see how much airflow we're losing? At the end of the day, here in America, we can lose up to maybe even 30% of our airflow, and causes huge inefficiencies throughout leakage in the home. Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm a homeowner and I'm feeling differences in temperatures in rooms upstairs, downstairs, here, there, do I? How do they know if it's an air duct issue or if it's just an issue with the unit itself? Or do they? Or do they just call some company and you come out and you identify it?
Well, you have to make some tests, right? So you can, as a homeowner, you can make assumptions, right? But you also should have them confirmed by a professional coming out. They can make sure that you have the proper size unit in your home, and can cross check everything that you're thinking is happening in your home. Like, oh, okay, I think that maybe the ductwork here is not adequate size for this room. We can confirm that by checking out a CFM calculator and making sure that we go through the whole system as a whole. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what about testing for air duct leaks? How do you go about that?
There's two different ways. We have an AeroSeal service, which is a company that provides internal sealant solutions for duct systems in residential and commercial properties, and we're able to attach the machine onto your ductwork, covering all your vents, right, and doing a pressure test that'll tell us how much duct leakage you're having and where you're supposed to be at with your duct system. And so that's option number one. There's also a machine that you can use to have a pressure test done in your duct system that hooks up into either the main plenum for your return or your supply, and that'll tell us the duct leakage from there as well.
Okay. So once the ducts are, a leakage is identified, is it possible to seal up the leaks or is it more common to do an air duct replacement?
Well, it depends. It's common to do a duct sealant, right? Because here, for example, in Colorado, we use metal ducts very often, and the lifespan for those is way longer than a flex. And if you're getting your unit routinely cleaned, then not necessarily will you need to do a full replacement. But if you get into a home where, unfortunately, yes, your duct system is completely undersized, or you have lack of return in sections of your home, based on the CFM and even your static pressure that you're getting, that your professional technician can actually see when they're out at your home, they can establish what's going on with the duct system and if it needs to be replaced with modifications, having some trunk lines upsized, or the full system replaced, or if we have the possibility to do a sealant and seal it up from the inside and try to contain all the air and get more efficiency that way.
So you're saying that in the majority of cases, a replacement comes when you're using like a flex a duct that kind of has deteriorated, or the duct system is underperforming for the house.
Yeah, either that or when you have a metal duct system in your crawl space, for example, or in your home that's rusted out and it's barely holding itself together. You want to look into replacing that. Even cleaning it is not going to be the best option. Yeah.
So, what should a homeowner expect when an air duct cleaning specialist comes to their house? Do they need to prepare anything special? Do they need to rearrange the house?
Well, you definitely want to make sure that all your vents, all your registers are accessible. And from there, you can expect for us to take maybe from 10 to 20 minutes per duct run. And depending on the size of your home, that'll tell you how long usually it takes to get a duct cleaning done.
Okay. And how long would it typically take? How many duct runs are in a house? If I have a 2,000 square foot house, what would the total time, more or less?
Yeah, so it's a 2 to 3 hour time window for a average size home, like 2,400 square feet.
Okay. Okay. And I know that you can't give any prices because each house and situation is different. But roughly speaking, if there's nothing too crazy going on, if there's no mold, if there's no rusted out pipes, what would a duct cleaning cost?
Well, I can tell you that right now we actually have a promotion for $299 to come out and do a basic duct cleaning, which is the debris removal of your supply lines and your return lines, as well as your grills.
Okay. And this is just so that we had an issue because on like this interview is not evergreen, right? So we're doing it now. Do you know when that special is? That just for this month, or is that like a special that's always on?
To be honest, I think that it's a temporary promo that we have right now.
Okay.
You can look at anywhere from about 375 to even 985 for a basic to a premium duct cleaning.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but actually, just so we know how long we can run with that 299, would you when would you say that would end, or is that just kind of open? You guys have it going on right now, and there's no.
We just have it
close date?
going. Yeah, we
Okay.
have it going on right now. I don't think that we have a close date just yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, 299 special can be up to 1,000 for a fully loaded. Uh, well, I guess 400
Right.
is kind of a more of an average price. Though.
It's a basic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The premium can include your replacement of your grills and all your registers in the home, the sanitation,
Okay.
and obviously the cleaning. Yeah.
Okay. So what advice would you give to homeowners so that they can keep their ducts clean, so that they don't have this buildup, so that they don't have to constantly be changing out their filters and have an irregular maintenance schedule?
Sure. You want to find yourself dusting and also vacuuming frequently in your home, especially here since we have so many carpets in the house. You want to change your filter regularly, and you also want to consider the highest efficiency filter that's recommended for your specific unit, your specific HVAC system.
Do you have any anecdotes about people's life or allergies or health improving after duct cleanings?
Well, it definitely improves the amount of dust and the amount of pollutants that can go through your home, right? Whether it's pollen, dust, all those seasonal kind of allergies that can come about, regular season changes is good to keep is good to keep under control with a duct cleaning and also sanitation and also upgraded indoor air quality filtration in your home. So, if you have a problem with allergies, or if you have a problem with odors in your home, you can start looking into your options to get some upgraded IAQ in your home.